Hey guys, what's up? It's 20 here, or Lucas bringing you guys another video, and today we're going to be talking about the 31 legends NHL 18 needs to have. And before we even get started showing off all these legends that should be in NHL 18, I want to give a huge shout out to STB Visuals on Twitter. Insanely talented graphics guy. He did all the cards for me. And just a note, every single card is rated 92 overall with 92 stats. Just because it made it way easier on him, so they didn't have to customize each card. So again, a huge shout out to him. Go follow him on Twitter. If you ever need graphics done, go check him out. Highly recommend it. He did a great job with these cards. But just wanted to get that 92 overall warning in there. So we're going to be going through one legend for every single team that should be in the game. And obviously starting off with the Anaheim Ducks, or Mighty Ducks when Paul Kariya played for him. Drafted by the Mighty Ducks, obviously, had 669 points in 606 games with the Mighty Ducks, and he's actually the points per game leader of the Anaheim Ducks as their whole franchise. Kariya would be one of the fastest legends in the game, next to Bobby Hull, and probably some of the best hands as well. He would be an unreal legend. Moving on to the Arizona Coyotes, assuming he retires, we should have Shane Doan as legend. I mean, who else could you have really picked for the Coyotes? Not going back into their Winnipeg Jets history, we left that to Winnipeg, obviously. Assuming he does retire this year, he's currently unsigned as of the 13th of August, but 972 points with the Coyotes, drafted by the Coyotes, every game played with the Coyotes. He leads them in all-time goals, games played, assists, points, and game-winning goals, and obviously he's been captain for 14 years. He'd be a perfect legend for them. He wouldn't be much different than his actual card in HUT this year in NHL 17. Looking at his milestone cards, he would have a super hard shot, super high strength, and not the best skater, would still be a really, really good legend. And moving on to the Boston Bruins. Now, there were a lot of options for this one, but I did put a poll on Twitter probably a week or two ago asking what's your favorite team and what's your what legend would you like. And for the Bruins, it was pretty obvious. We had to go with Bobby Orr. Obviously, he completely revolutionized the position of defenseman by making it so that a defenseman can actually score points, and he scored a lot. In 631 games with the Bruins, Bobby Orr had 888 points. He won 8 Norris trophies in a row, and he was just, he was something else, man. He's probably one of the best players of all time, if not the best. I think he would be the highest rated legend by far, and he deserves to be. He'd probably be close to 97 everything in all honesty. Maybe checking's a little bit lower, but he would be one heck of a legend card. Moving on to the Buffalo Sabres, in the start of the French Connection, we have Gilbert Perreault, drafted first overall by the Sabres in 1970. With the Sabres, he had 1,326 points, all with the Sabres, obviously. He's the Sabres' all-time leader in points, goals, games played, and game-winning goals. Perreault would have by far some of the best passing stats in the game and the best hands. He was unreal. All right, moving on to the Flames. Now, this may be a pick that some of you guys aren't expecting, but Flames fans probably already know who I'm going to say. It's Lanny McDonald. Obviously a Flames fan legend. Every Flames fan loves and adores Lanny McDonald and the mustache. In his 492 games played with the Flames, he had 406 points, and he was actually regarded as one of the best leaders of all time, and that's why the Flames brought him in for the Stanley Cup run they had. Next up, we have the Carolina Hurricanes and Ron Francis, actually drafted by Hartford in 1981. Obviously, he's now the Carolina's current GM. In his 1,186 games played with Carolina/Hartford, he had 1,175 points, so pretty dang good. He's the all-time leader in points, goals, game-winning goals, and games played for the Hurricanes/Whalers. All right, moving on to my favorite team, the Chicago Blackhawks. We're going to have Stan Mikita. So, he helped lead the Hawks, obviously, to the Cup in 1961, along with Bobby Hull. He is the all-time Hawks leader in games played, points, assists, and game-winning goals. He's also the only player ever up to date, like currently, ever to do this. He won the Hart, the Art Ross, and the Lady Byng in the same season. Over his 20 years with the Blackhawks, only team he played for, he had 1,467 points in 1,394 games played, so pretty good player. Moving on to the Colorado Avalanche, we have none other than Peter Forsberg. Obviously, he was acquired by the Nordiques/Avalanche via the Eric Lindros trade, and along with Eric Lindros, he was one of the true first power forwards of his time. In his 591 games played with the Avs, he had 755 points. The dude was an absolute freak. And moving on to the Columbus Blue Jackets, we have Rick Nash. I mean, in all honesty, looking at their all-time leaders, and they've only been around for, like, what, almost 20 years now, so really no one else to choose from. We chose Rick Nash because why not? Probably won't happen because he's obviously still playing in the NHL, but he is the Columbus Blue Jackets all-time leader in games played, goals, assists, points, and game-winning goals. Moving on to the Dallas Stars, we have Neil Broughton, who most of you guys probably didn't know. I honestly didn't know about him before this, but he was actually on the USA team for Miracle on Ice against the Soviets. He's the second all-time for the Stars in games played, points, and assists. In his 992 games played with the Stars and North Stars, obviously, he had 867 points. He was pretty much a small, speedy center with good hands and good passing, so would be pretty solid in HUT. Now, moving on to the Red Wings, we have Sergei Fedorov. That is right, 4th-round pick in 1989 by the Detroit Red Wings. In 908 career games of the Wings, he had 954 points. He went on to play every position on the ice but goalie. He played a bit of defense in Washington, and he played center and wing in Detroit as well. He was unreal. He played everything. He was one of the smartest players on the ice. Now moving on to the Edmonton Oilers, we have Grant Fuhr. That is right. So drafted by the Oilers in 1981, he had 423 games played with the Oilers, and out of those 423 games played, he had 226 wins, which is the all-time lead for the Oilers. And he also actually won the Vezina in 1987 as well. He was really one of the true first hybrid goalies. He was small, but quick and effective. So I don't know how he'd be in HUT, but it'd be pretty cool to see him in HUT. All right, moving on to the Florida Panthers. Again, not many players to choose from here, but we went with John Van Beesbroek. He was the first pick in the expansion draft for the Florida Panthers. He actually won the Vezina in 1985 with the New York Rangers, and he was on the cover of EA Sports NHL, just to say. And he helped carry the Panthers, obviously, to the Cup final in 1996. He was, again, a small goalie with amazing reflexes. Not sure how he'd do in HUT, but it'd be pretty cool to see for Panthers fans. Moving on to the Los Angeles Kings, probably the most underrated player in NHL history, Marcel Dionne. He's the 4th all-time in points as of right now. He's the all-time Kings leader in points, obviously. He won the Art Ross on the Kings in 1979. He was a small guy, but super hard to knock off the puck, and really, really good and accurate shot, and even better passing. So he'd be very, very nice to see in HUT. All right, moving on to the Minnesota Wild. Again, really not much to choose from here. So I ended up going with Nicholas Backstrom. So he came into the NHL as a 28-year-old in 2006. And in that year, his 28-year-old year, he won the William N. Jennings Award, so not too shabby. He's actually the Wild all-time wins leader as well, so not many options for the Wild, but you guys all know Nicholas Backstrom. He'd be a pretty solid goalie in HUT. All right, moving on to the Habs now. I know there's so many different players I could choose here with the Habs, but on Twitter, so many people said they wanted to see John Beliveau into Hockey Ultimate Team. He won 2 Hart trophies with Montreal, 1,125 games played with Montreal, and had 1,219 points with the Habs, so obviously amazing. He was the second all-time in points and assists with the Habs. Moving on to the Nashville Predators, again, not a team that has a lot of history, but I thought Kimmo Timonen would be a great legend for the Nashville Predators. He joined Nashville in 1998. He was the 4th all-time in points for Nashville. In 1,108 games played with Nashville, he had 571 points, so not bad at all for a defenseman. And obviously, you guys know Kimmo Timonen. He was a smaller defenseman, unreal hands, and a really surprising shot. That's one thing I noticed with Kimmo Timonen all the time. He would be pretty dang good in Hockey Ultimate Team. Now to the New Jersey Devils, we have Scott Stevens. That is right. So pretty much the agreed upon hardest hitting defenseman of all time. He's the all-time leader in plus-minus for the Devils. Woohoo. But he's 4th all-time in Devils points, and he would obviously be a freak in HUT. Obviously a smooth skating defenseman with literally the highest stats possible for hitting. He would be intimidating. Moving on to the New York Islanders, and this was really weird to me. So when I asked about legends on Twitter, there was a resounding voice for Rick DiPietro as the Islanders legend. I think that may be because he's now the color analyst for the Islanders. But obviously he went first overall in 2001, which was unprecedented. But he did go first overall. Signed a 15-year contract, I think 2 years into his career. Obviously devastated by knee injuries. But he's 3rd in all-time wins for the Islanders, and he was actually pretty dang good when he was healthy for the Islanders. Obviously a pretty average goalie in HUT. He'd be like everyone else at this point. Moving on to the New York Rangers, we have Mark Messier, of course. His first year in New York, he actually won the Hart Trophy. 698 games played with the Rangers and had 691 points. Obviously led the Rangers to the Cup in 1993. Obviously, you guys all know who Mark Messier is. One of the greatest leaders of all time. one of the best, some of the best hands of all time as well. Really underrated there. But he'd be a prototypical power forward again with good hands and a pretty good shot. Moving on to the Ottawa Senators, we have Danny Alfredsson. That is right. So drafted by the Senators in 1994, 6th round. He won the Calder in 1995. He's the all-time leader in Sens goals, assists, and points. He'd be, again, another small forward with amazing hands and a really, really good shot. I'd love to see Alfie back in HUD. Moving on to the Philadelphia Flyers, we have the 2nd round pick in 1969. Nice. Bobby Clarke, that is right. So, 3-time Hart Trophy winner, something that he really wasn't known for. Whenever you hear of Bobby Clarke, you think of the guy with no front teeth and the enforcer guy. But he was one hell of a scorer back in his day. He actually led the Flyers to back-to-back cups in 1973 and 1974. Again, a gritty player, a feisty player, but he really did have a lot of skill up front. He had an amazing shot and really, really good hands, so he'd be very fun to use in HUD. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Penguins, again, a lot of choices here, but I ended up going with Paul Coffey. Obviously regarded as one of the best offensive defensemen of all time. He was unreal. He had amazing vision on the ice and amazing passing ability. In 331 games played with the Penguins, he had 440 points. Good Lord, he's a 3-time Norris winner. Obviously won the Cup with the Penguins in 1991. And he would just be probably the 2nd highest rated defenseman in HUD behind Bobby Orr if they included him. He would be unreal. Moving on again to another team with not a lot of history, we have the San Jose Sharks. I ended up going with Evgeny Nabokov, 9th round pick by the Sharks in 1994. He's the all-time Sharks leader in wins, shutouts, and saves. And he also won the Calder in the 2000-2001 season. So I think it'd be pretty cool to see Evgeny Nabokov back in HUD. Moving on to the St. Louis Blues, we got the 1st round pick in 1976. It's Bernie Federico. I don't really know how to say it. He's the all-time leader in points, assists, and games played for the Blues. In 91 playoff games, he had 101 points, and in 927 games played with the Blues, he had 1,000 points, and he was an unreal, just two-way forward. He did everything on the ice, and Blues fans adore him, so it'd be very, very cool to see him in HUD. And moving on to the Tampa Bay Lightning, we have Marty St. Louis. That is right. Obviously, originally a Calgary Flame. He went undrafted and then moved to the Lightning in 2000. He won the Hart Trophy in 2003, to the 2003-04 season. He won the Art Ross twice. He's the Tampa Bay Lightning leader in points and game-winning goals behind Vinny LeCavalier in every other category pretty much. Again, a small player, but you guys all know what Marty St. Louis brings to the table. Speed, great shot, great passing, and pretty good defensively. Moving on to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, this historic club has so many options for players, but the one I saw on Twitter the most is Matt Sundin. He's the all-time Leafs leader in goals and points. In his 981 games played with the Leafs, he had 987 points, and he was the captain for 10 years. So, everyone knows Matt Sundin at this point. Super good power forward. Always knew where to go on the ice. Really, really good shot. It'd be very cool to see Matt Sundin in HUD. Alright, for the Vancouver Canucks, we have Mark Messier again. And obviously, you guys know Mark Messier as the captain, the face of the Canucks. Right? I'm just kidding. We have Marcus Naslund, obviously. I just wanted to kind of put that in there for Canucks fans. I know you guys love your Mark Messier. But Naslund was 3rd all-time in points behind the Sedins, actually, for the Canucks. 2nd all-time in goals behind behind Daniel Sedin. He's the captain for 8 years, obviously. In 884 games played with the Canucks, he had 756 points. Once again, another one of those power forwards that kind of dominated the league at the time, that knew where to go on the ice and were able to get where they wanted to go and have the shot of wow. That didn't make much sense. Alright, moving on to the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, obviously, I wanted to include them. Why not? I actually have Gerard Gallant, the head coach. Obviously, the first ever head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights. In Gallant's 615 NHL career games, he had 480 points, so pretty decent player, and yeah, I thought, why not throw him in here? And moving on to the Washington Capitals, we have Peter Bondra. That is right. So, drafted by the Caps in 1990 in the 8th round. Behind Ovechkin, he's the 2nd all-time in points and goals. So if Ovechkin wasn't there, obviously he'd be leading in points and goals. He was one of the most successful Russians in NHL history. He would have unreal hands and probably really high offensive awareness because, once again, like I've been saying throughout, that's how all the great players are. They know where to go on the ice, and he had another deceptive shot as well. So it'd be very, very nice to see Peter Bondra on HUD. And last but certainly not least, this player could have been for the Anaheim Ducks, but we went for the Winnipeg Jets because of his rookie season. Teemu Selanne. So, drafted in the first round, 1988. He obviously had the incredible 76-goal rookie season. In his career, he had 14 1,451 career games played, and he ended that career with 1,457 points. So, absolutely dominant career. Won the Richard in 1998. You guys all know Teemu Selanne. Super fast, the finish flash. Amazing shot, amazing hands, amazing passing, just amazing all around. I think it'd be awesome to see Teemu Selanne back in Hockey Ultimate. But that is going to be it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely let me know down below what players you think I missed and what players you would like to see in Hockey Ultimate Team as a legend. I kind of went towards players that were never a legend in HUT, because I could have done, like, Chris Chelios for the Hawks, but he was already in HUT. For the Wings, I could have done Steven Yzerman. I could have done freaking, I don't know, I could have done a bunch of different players, but they were already legends in HUT, like Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and that stuff. So I tried to go away from that. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, let me know. Again, huge shout out to STB Visuals for doing all the card art. I really cannot say how grateful I am for him, because without him, this video would be very, very boring. But guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, let me know. I'll talk to you guys later. Boom!